This video is for anybody that's putting out content marketing, whether you are an actual agency that does it for other people as a third-party service, or you actually have an in-house team that does your own content marketing, you're an influencer, podcaster, YouTuber, whatever it is. These are the top 10 tools that you can actually use for your content marketing team. First thing I wanna say is keep it lean and mean. Now, all these tools that I have, this is literally like I had to scrape to find my top 10 because we don't use a lot of stuff, and that is a very, very important thing. When you get into this world of anything to do with marketing, anything to do with social media, content marketing, video marketing, doesn't matter. You could go down a really deep rabbit trail. And I actually talked with somebody this past weekend at an event, and they were just overwhelmed because he had literally about 45 subscriptions to different platforms that he was using for his business. And I was like, dude, you got to calm down. You got to chill out. Eliminate all the things that you absolutely do not need. I'm not talking essential. I'm talking like your business can't run without it. Get rid of everything and very much dial it down. So I want to caution you at first. There's 10 things here, and each one of these have a very practical reason why we use them. But I want you to make sure that you are being as effective and efficient with it as possible. Do not overcomplicate it, and do not try to sign up for every single one of these at once. These are tools that we've put together over the past 2.5 years of being in business. So make sure you take that into consideration. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm gonna work my way backwards from 10 down to 1. All right, number 10, I'm combining these two because they're both kind of video platforms, but they both obviously very much have their own kind of element to them. And by the way, guys, every single one of these tools, most of them you guys have already probably heard of or you're actually using. So these are not gonna be like mind-blowing shocker things, but I'm gonna explain a little bit of detail, especially 5 through 1 of how we actually use these tools. So number 10 is Loom/Zoom. So I use both of these platforms for recording, but anytime I'm with in a meeting, like on a sales meeting, or I'm with a client or something like that, or especially podcasts, I'm using Zoom 100% of the time. I don't ever use like Google Hangouts, or I don't even know if Hangouts exists. It's Meet or something like that. I don't use GoToWebinar or GoToMeeting or anything like that. Zoom is definitely the most universal at this point in the game, and so we use Zoom for everything. And I do have a little bit of a ninja trick for you. Make sure if you are recording, especially a podcast, record to your computer, because for whatever reason, it actually saves better quality, especially the audio quality, as opposed to sending it through the cloud and then back down into Zoom servers. I've had some really big issues with quality if I save it to the cloud as opposed to my computer. It does take a little bit of time to render, but I think it definitely comes out a whole lot better. Loom, on the other hand, is great for internal stuff or direct client communication. So what I actually use Loom for is if, for instance, a client asks for update on a piece of content or a change in something that we're doing, I'll actually take that and either webcam or screen record, or both, for my team a short 5-minute video, send that over to the Slack channel to communicate with them, which I'll get to in a second. And that's how I communicate with them, because for me, it's a whole lot easier for me to actually explain something over a video as opposed to trying to type it out, especially if it's a little lengthy. But I do the same thing for my clients. If like I need something from them, or if I want to explain something back to them or give a report or something like that, I'll actually shoot a Loom video. And a little bit of a ninja trick as well, 5 minutes. I leave the free version on for Loom because it limits you to 5 minutes. That forces me to actually keep it short and sweet and make sure I'm very detailed in what I'm talking about and get to the point, because if I allow Loom to keep going, then I'll catch myself to where sometimes I'm just talking and it's a never-ending circle, and then I never finish what I'm gonna say. So the free version, I would recommend keeping it at that, because Loom's gonna be great for those short, quick videos that you wanna shoot over to your clients or your team just to explain something really quick. Number 9, again, not gonna go into much detail here, but this is Adobe Creative Cloud. I love Adobe Creative Cloud. Every single person on my team is using all Adobe products, whether that's for video editing with Premiere, Photoshop, Illustrator, Audition for audio, doesn't matter what it is, we are using Adobe everything. And the great thing about Adobe is because you can actually work in collaboration with your team as well. We don't do this a whole lot, but we have done this in the past where, one of my video editors is working on a project and maybe he has to go on vacation, but the project isn't finished. So we can actually send it over to another video editor through the Creative Cloud and the collaboration. I'm not sure what they call it, but it's collaboration where you can actually work on the same project at somebody else. And so instead of just having to like download all of the files, all the project files and everything, and send it over through Drive or whatever, you can actually do that through the cloud. So Adobe everything, and that's definitely the most professional softwares that you can use across all platforms and for all mediums like graphic design and audio. So Adobe Creative Cloud is what we use. It is a little bit more advanced, so if you're not into that, then do not use it. Use something a little simpler. Next one is ENVATO Elements. I love ENVATO Elements because if you're ever in a situation where you need some music that's not copyrighted, it's royalty free, or you need some stock videos, some stock images, or even other elements like Premiere project files or something like that, or After Effects templates for say an intro video or whatever, ENVATO Elements literally has it all. I can't believe how cheap it is. I believe it's like $30 a month for all of this stuff. It's a massive library of an insane amount of things. And so my team actually goes in there and downloads assets all the time from ENVATO Elements, whether that's music, like I said, or After Effects projects or whatever it is. We use this on a very consistent basis. So I would highly recommend this, especially, you know, if you're the type of person that you're going to like Canva, or you're going to Unsplash, or you're going to Buffer to try to download all these like assets or whatever. Just get one subscription to ENVATO and call it a day, because it's going to solve all your problems when it comes to downloading digital assets that you need for your projects. Next is Hotjar. Love Hotjar. It is incredible. It's very, very mind-blowing. This is one of those mind-blowing tools that the first time I saw it, I was like, there's no way. Go look it up, hotjar.com. And what they do is they give you a little bit of a code that you put into the header of your website. Now what happens is that if somebody comes onto your website, they actually have what's called a heat map that shows you where they went and everything, like where they spent the most time. But then a really cool thing that, you know, heat maps are kind of a thing that's been around for a while, but the coolest thing is that they'll actually record the actual usage of what somebody's on your website with, whether that's through mobile or desktop, iPad, any device, and they'll actually record the entire time that they're on their website. So you can actually see, you know, for instance, my website, what I notice is people will actually scroll really fast to the bottom, check out what's at the bottom for whatever reason, and then they'll scroll back up to the top, go to my pricing menu, and then they look around there. It's kind of the mind-blowing thing. You can actually see and track where people are going on your website. You can see what they're clicking on, how fast they're scrolling, and all that stuff, and bounce time. So if they're landing on your website, they're not interested, and then they leave in 4 seconds, then you know that there's a problem. Or if they're not hanging out on your homepage, watching a video or whatever it is. It's a great tool to be able to see what people are actually doing on your website when they get there. I use the free version because it's for one website, but you can actually upgrade if you want to put it on multiple websites. I highly recommend using this because you can see what behaviors are going on and see what you need to adjust on your website. Next is LINKTREE. So LINKTREE, again, most of you are either using it or know of it. It's a great place where you can actually have all of your links to all your social platforms or whatever it is. So for instance, you use this specifically for Instagram or say a link or a TikTok account, because this is great because you can only use one link on those platforms. And so what happens is all the links that are in the description below for this YouTube video, I literally have all of those links embedded in my LINKTREE account. So if you go to like linktree.com/colormedia or /JoshColor, you'll get to my LINKTREE, and then you'll see all of the links that I have there. And it literally just gives everybody a menu to be able to look at what you're talking about. So for instance, if I'm talking about my REI Marketing Weekly podcast on Instagram, and I have a video on Instagram, I'll say, click the link in my bio to learn more. And then they click the link in my bio, it's the LINKTREE, and then they'll see my REI Marketing Weekly podcast there, and then they can subscribe from there. So great tool to be able to literally just make all of your links appear in one place, especially for, like I said, TikTok or Instagram. All right, so these next 5 are the ones that we use the most, obviously. So number 5 is Temi, TEMI.com. Great platform for you to be able to actually go to and transcribe any audio, video, whatever you have. You literally submit it to the platform. I believe it's 25 cents a minute, and it's about a 4-minute turnaround time depending on the length of the video or audio file. This is great because there's a lot of other platforms out there that actually charge like $1 a minute and it's like a 4-hour turnaround time. This platform is very, very good. I found it's just about 80 to 85% accurate because that's gonna be some of the most accuracy you're gonna find. You'll have to go in and edit a little bit, but even the user experience on the inside of their platform where you can actually go in and edit the transcriptions is really useful, and it actually makes a lot of sense. It flows well and it looks great. And I found that this is one of the biggest reasons why I love Temi so much, is because of that experience that I've had in it. But the transcriptions are great. They actually turn out really, really well. Very cheap for the quality that you're getting as well, and the turnaround time you absolutely cannot beat. Temi.com, Temi.com. Number 4, Creator Studio. I know a lot of people use other platforms like Hootsuite or Buffer, and they use these platforms to distribute content that they have on their platforms. Now, here's the thing. Out of the big 4, say Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok, those ones, really only Facebook and Instagram you can actually schedule out through a third-party application. I know TikTok is really getting into that game, but I would rather schedule through TikTok than anything. And LinkedIn, for whatever reason, you really can't use any scheduling platform because the actual content comes out looking really weird no matter what platform you use. But for Instagram and Facebook specifically, Creator Studio is by far the best because it's owned by Facebook. It's their platform for you to be able to schedule out all of your content. They give great analytics and it's very easy to use. The only thing I wish, Creator Studio, please add Reels. Please allow us to schedule Reels out for Instagram. That's the only thing I'm asking, but everything else is great. So Creator Studio, our distribution team uses that every single day for all the content that we put out on Facebook and Instagram. So check that out, make sure it's absolutely free too, and it's definitely the best because they're not gonna hurt you in the algorithm when you actually post and schedule your content out. Number 3, might seem a little gimmicky, Fiverr. I love Fiverr so much because I do have a team of about 15 team members right now. But for those little odds and ends projects that I need done on a quick notice, I'll send it over to Fiverr because it's really cheap labor, but they get it back to you. And it's literally just an order taking platform. You're just gonna send it over and then they're gonna get it back to you however you instructed them to do it. And so the team is great because they're in the daily operations. But like I said, if you have odds and ends projects that you need done, Fiverr is the place that you're really gonna wanna go because you can actually pick, there's literally a menu of people that you can pick from, service providers and creators that you can pick from to do the little tasks that you can do. And honestly, I've not found one single task that I've had in my visionary brain that couldn't be done through Fiverr. So I highly recommend it. You've probably heard of it, so go try it out if you haven't already. All right, so 1 and 2 are the ones that we absolutely use the most. Every single day, almost every hour, maybe even every minute, I'm not sure. But number 2 is Slack. We love Slack because Slack is a two-way street for us. We use Slack for communicating with our entire team. So all the clients that we have a specific Slack channel for them, and then we've got a team Slack channel for everybody on the team. But then we also use that for our clients. So our clients are allowed to communicate with us through that Slack channel because I actually have myself and my COO, my operations person, in that Slack channel. So if somebody says, one of my clients says, hey, can you update this? Then it goes directly to my COO and then she gets it to the team because she manages all operations and the team for me. And so instead of going through email, going through text, going through calls, going through Facebook Messenger, keeping it all in one place in Slack is definitely the best way to go, especially as we grow and scale. We take on more clients. It's just not gonna be manageable for me or my team to be able to keep up with all these lines of communication. So Slack is great. I love it. It's very simple. Again, you can go pretty far with Slack in terms of integration and stuff you can do with it. I would recommend keeping it as simple as possible so it's usable. Last and certainly not least, number 1 content marketing tool that I would recommend. And there's a kind of a counterpart that you can use for this as well if a lot of you are using this other one, but the one we use is Trello. So Trello is where we literally funnel all of our projects, all of our content that we put out for our clients, and even my content specifically. Like this video for YouTube has actually been through our Trello process as well. So we have Trello all set up, all the processes are built out inside of it. The counterpart that you can use is Asana. I like Asana, but it's not as visually appealing as Trello in my opinion. I believe that Asana is definitely a lot more scalable in terms of like being able to build out a lot more inside of it, but I don't like that. Again, I like to keep it sweet and short and simple and all that. And so Trello is great for being able to do that. And Trello does have some great integrations as well, but it's not as complex. It doesn't go as far as, say, Asana would, but we don't need it to go that far. So it's worked for us. We've had it again for 2.5 years now, and we literally filter thousands of cards every single week that go through Trello. It's absurd how many cards we have. And to be truthful with you guys, for the longest time, up until about the beginning of this year in February, we were using the free version of Trello. Yeah, that's crazy. So we're using the free version of Trello, and it's done us incredibly well. The only reason we had to upgrade to the pro account was because we have a lot more clients that are coming on board with us, and so there's a certain amount of Trello boards that you can use inside of the free account, and so we actually had to upgrade, and that's the only reason why. But it's been great for us. We love it. No complaints, and I highly recommend it as a project management tool. A lot of people are using other things like Monday.com, Asana, and a couple others. Basecamp is another big one, but I found Trello is definitely the easiest to use, especially for the team, especially for creatives. They absolutely love it. Every single team member on my team loves Trello. So again, I want you to take every single one of these, compress it, figure out what makes sense for you to actually use. Don't go sign up for subscriptions for every single one of these right off the bat. I just wanted to brain dump with you the top 10 tools that we use on our team to push out nearly 4,000 pieces of content every single week. We've got 15 team members that use all these tools. So if you have any questions, make sure you check out the links in the description below to connect with me. Hopefully this brought you value, and if it did, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.